When you think of Minecraft content, one of the more unexpected words that come to mind, at least for the uninitiated, is storytelling. If you've been observing internet trends over the past few years, or if you've just been in the fandom, you may know that we are upon a great renaissance of Minecraft content, statistically speaking. I think part of the rise is the emergence of even more Let's Play content set on survival multiplayer, or SMP. In many SMPs, there is a trend of having quote-unquote lore within the server, much to the delight of many people within the community who see the beauty of storytelling that unfolds through these kinds of content. However, from the outside looking in, and from my experience of just talking to my friends, the concept of telling an entire narrative through a sandbox game like Minecraft is still a bit hard to grasp. A lot of people might ask, are these SMPs a valid form of storytelling? The short answer is yes, definitely. The longer answer is, well, this video. Hi, I'm Hex, and today I want to talk about Minecraft SMP Series, its storytelling potential, and what makes it so compelling. Let's start by defining what I mean by an SMP series. An SMP series is a set of episodic videos or stream that takes place within a multiplayer Minecraft server, often comprising multiple points of view from the different members. Each SMP series adheres to different themes and focuses. Some SMPs might lean towards technical aspects of the game, some might be more narrative-based, or some are just casual games between friends. As long as there's content being produced by the members, that counts as a series. Notable examples of an SMP series are the Dream SMP, Hermitcraft, Psycraft, Empires SMP, and many more. For this video, I want to focus the discussion on narrative-driven SMP series, although the points I will be making might apply to the genre generally. The specific SMP series I have in mind while writing this are the Dream SMP, the Life series, which is Third Life, Last Life, and Double Life, and Empires SMP, so there might be spoilers for those ahead.
My gosh, that is crazy. And that is a law. Wow, I'm so good at acting.
To talk about the validity of an SMP series as a medium of storytelling, I want to make a comparison between this and something called a composite novels or a short story cycle. In the composite novel, The Short Story Cycle in Transition, Maggie Dunn and Anne Morris define composite novels as a literary work composed of shorter texts that, though individually complete and autonomous, are interrelated in a coherent whole according to one or more organizing principles. Based on this definition, we can make a very valid comparison between a composite novel and an SMP series. The major difference would be the medium in which it exists. Composite novels are written, and SMP series primarily exist through an audiovisual form. Other than that, similarities between both are observable. Just as a single part of a composite novel is individually complete and autonomous and is self-contained, able to be experienced independently by a reader, videos from an SMP members are their own independent content. When I do make this comparison, I want to liken one chapter of a composite novel to an entire point of view or POV of a character. So not just one video, but their entire playlist of videos following that specific character. A viewer can easily pick up one POV from an SMP and experience the series from that perspective. You, as a viewer, are not required to watch all 100 episodes from everyone. You can just pick one member and then just have at it. The result is a unique viewing experience as your comprehension of the story is determined by the POVs that you choose. So, in the Dream SMP, if you just watched one of the Pogtopia members' perspective on overthrowing the Schlatt administration, then that is your experience of that event. If you picked George Not Found's POV as he built his hillside mushroom house while the rest of the server was on fire, that is also valid.
Manburger's gone. It's gone. Like, fully gone.
Anyways, despite the different POVs being independent from each other, they are all inherently interconnected. Dunn and Morris provided 5 main organizing principles for composite novels, namely settings, a single protagonist, a collective protagonist, patterns, and storytelling. In our case, most SMPs use 2 principles, the settings and the collective protagonist. SMPs are also tied up together through themes and in-game rules. For example, the Life series has its life system in a limited world. Empires SMP requires its members to build, well, empires from the ground up, and Afterlife SMP consists of members just trying to exist while being reincarnated again and again into different superpowered beings.
I had only just discovered my powers.
Point is that both Composite novels and SMP series will have self-contained independent parts, but it's all cohesive, and audiences may jump from one perspective to the other and still pick up on the themes and plot threads present, and even gain a deeper understanding of the plot. More on that later.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Bye.
See
you later.
Bye.
Now, I want to shift my attention to the concept of a collective protagonist, which I think is the main appeal of watching an SMP series. Before I discuss this, I want to make it clear that there is a distinction between content creators and their characters. So when I do discuss characters, I am specifically referring to the persona that they play, unless I state otherwise. That out of the way, what is a collective protagonist? Dunn and Morris defines this as a group that functions as a central character. In contrast to having one protagonist and one way of seeing the world, a collective protagonist enables a sort of communal framing of the story. Of course, a collective protagonist also exists in traditional media. One example that comes to mind is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, a story where the political conflicts in the magic of the world unravels through the multiple POVs of characters. In the paper The Collective Protagonist, Multiple Points of View, and the Search for Truth in Familial Narratives, Kipling states, "When a work of fiction privileges the voices of multiple individuals, a nuanced and ever-shifting understanding of the truth emerges. By truth, I refer to the existence of a narrative in which a reader can place their trust." Kipling adds, "When multiple points of views are explored, a house of mirror quality arises from the characters' constant reflections on and off each other." I guess a really good example of this is Pearl from Double Life. If you watch from her perspective, you may hold the view that she is a woman scorned, someone abandoned by her own soulmate and trying to survive alone. But if you watch, say, Scott's POV, she's a crazy ex-girlfriend character who goes out of her way to pester and harm Scott. This applies to other characters as well. Beat-Ups is trying to be strategic and just being silly with the other pairs, but to the rest, he's a town gossip trying to wreck relationships. Grian and Scar are smart and resourceful, but they're also seen as a nuisance due to their habit of withholding scarce resources from the rest of the server.
You know how every season we try and get a monopoly on something?
By viewing characters through multiple perspectives, each with their own history, biases, and goals, we get to see this very holistic view of not only one person, but also the flow of the story and the entire world around them as it changes over time. This means that most SMPs will not have a designated main character, and the placements of the protagonist and the antagonist will largely depend on whose POV you favor. But keyword here is some SMP series, as there are a lot of them that do designate a villain in some form. Hello, Editing Hex here. I just really want to let you guys know that I cut out a whole paragraph from here, just basically me talking about content creators and in-game interactions. It was very long and it felt very disjointed, so I just cut it out. The next sentence might be a bit jarring because it was connected to that paragraph, but you didn't really miss anything. So yeah, back to the video. Point is that the interaction between characters engages the audiences and that compels them to look at other people's perspectives that are present. A really great example of this is the Life series, specifically Double Life SMP. Yes, I'm still talking about this, it's my favorite, and it's currently ongoing as of writing, so it's still fresh in my brain. Now, in general, the small world border, clashing factions, unique twists in the rules, and the visible death messages present in all 3 seasons are compelling, but Double Life takes it a step further with the soulmate mechanic, where you are assigned a random soulmate at the beginning of the game, and if you take damage or die, the other person will do the same. That and just the general chaos that happens within the server.
Is there a warden in the ranch? I can't see.
There is.
Why?
Why?
Oh,
Scar, please.
Say you chose to watch Grian's POV for Double Life. In the middle of his first episode, he starts taking huge portions of damage out of nowhere, and you start asking the question, why did he take so much damage? So after you watch his episode and find out Scar is his soulmate,
No, ready.
You're compelled to watch Scar's POV and see exactly what happened. Throughout the series, even if you're just watching one POV, several shenanigans will happen that will lead you to ask more questions, like why are random people just taking consistent damages at random times? How did Tango pull up a warden into the overworld? And how did Rendog and Bigby funnel zombies into the chateau's pool? As a viewer, you are incentivized to look at other people's perspectives so you could see the entire picture. Each characters will have their own reactions, secrets, alliances, and acts of betrayal. And while you can stick to one POV and just have a full story, you are rewarded with a fuller view of the world if you follow more than one character, especially if the events are as chaotic as they are in most SMP series. We as audiences will seek to satisfy our curiosity with other people's reactions and what they are up to. Kipling actually brings this up in their paper, stating, "Yet another possibility created by the use of a collective protagonist is the way in which it privileges the reader as a holder of secrets and a knower of emotional deceptions among multiple voices." The last point I want to bring up is the fact that it's a simultaneous, multi-perspective experience that is irreplaceable or irreplicable through traditional means. I think about it like this. With the stories that are being produced traditionally, such as TV shows, movies, and the like, there's restriction to the scope of the story, especially because of time, budget, and marketability. In a TV show, we can't follow every single character around. We don't have much choice in the POV we are immersed in, and there's only so much you can do or show within an hour or two. In comparison, the content within an SMP series is not produced by one single company, but technically made by every single member. With the rise of independent content creators and an accessible platform like YouTube, one person can shoot, edit, and publish their own content at their own pace. Just as a composite novel can have multiple authors, members of an SMP can produce a lot of content collectively. In addition, this all takes place within a game, where the possibilities are endless and audiences can literally put themselves in the shoes of the character because of Minecraft's first-person perspective.
I can't believe the direction that this has gone in. This is not what I imagined.
Oh, it's gone in a great direction, a powerful direction.
In conclusion, the storytelling power of an SMP series comes from the simple fact that multiple people are collaborating within a space with unlimited potential, and all of them will have different experiences to tell and share. Of course, I am not saying that SMP series are completely revolutionary or it's the next evolution of storytelling or it's perfect by any means, but it is something that should be more recognized. The way that people can create stories in an unlikely medium and do it in a collaborative manner is a manifestation of creativity. And the fact that there is a community and a fandom that is emotionally invested in these proves that stories, no matter which form it takes, are something that we inherently find magical. Again, I'm Hex, and thank you for watching.